Hello, Cancer, and welcome to your November 2024 tarot card reading. Now, before we get started, I wanted to let you guys know that on my website, I've just posted an option to book a 2025 year ahead overview Zoom session with me. So it's a one-on-one where we're going to pull out tarot cards and we're going to take a look at the transits for the upcoming year for you, kind of get an idea of what the upcoming year is going to look like. So if you want to book that, all the information is in the description box in the pinned comment thread down below. And it is creeping up. The new year is creeping up real quick. So if you want to get it on the books, now is the time. All right, everyone, let's go ahead and get started, Cancer. So what is it that you need to know for November 2024? Okay, we start with determination. I love this. I love it because it's what's needed right now to kind of get us over the hump of this whole Pluto finishing out Capricorn thing, okay? Because on November 19th, Pluto enters Aquarius for the last and final time ever in our lifetimes. So between now and the 19th, there are going to be some final crunches, if you will. I don't know that it's going to be necessarily all that hard or adversarial, but we are going to have to push a little bit, and we are going to have to really prove to ourselves how much we want this new life. And there's going to be steps that are needed to be taken. And, it's kind of like you proving it to yourself as much as you're proving it to the higher powers as well, and saying, well, I'm determined to make this happen. I'm determined to live this life and to become this person. And you start taking steps. You start actually embodying these qualities. You start doing these things, and behavior changes, your mindset changes. And I think that's going to be good for everyone involved. So we have emotions are running high. I do think they are, especially for you, Cancer, as you are ruled by the moon. And we know how intrinsically connected the moon is with our states of being, the way our mind is working, and therefore it impacts our emotions. And I don't know, I think when we're in that state of going after something and being really focused, anything that kind of comes in and interrupts that or presents itself as an obstacle can maybe be a little over amplified. And you may be dealing that with other people as well, where their emotions are running a little bit high and you may be needing to deal with them. I kind of think we're all going to be feeling it. We're all going to be feeling the Pluto stuff, not to mention Saturn is also stationing direct in Pisces. Plus, we also have Mars coming into Leo, which is where he will be retrograding next month. So throughout the month of November, he is going to start really slowing down. But Mars in Leo in general is going to be very self-expressive. That's what Leo is. We like to express ourselves, and a lot of emotions can come through there. So, emotions can be great because we can channel them, or they can kind of tear us down. So we want to make sure that we're channeling our emotions properly, and that we're dealing with other people's emotions properly as well, and not taking on too much responsibility for things that are not our responsibility. Okay? All right, so what else? We have Two of Cups, the Nine of Coins, and the Seven of Cups. Okay, Two of Cups, I'm going to talk you through some different levels of this card, all right? Because there's always these different layers. First and foremost, the Two of Cups can be at minimum a nice conversation with someone, okay? It could be professional, it could be personal, someone who you really vibe with. There does seem to be a synchronization going on. You share similar ideas, similar values. You can bring different things to the table, but it's cohesive, it works together, it's complementary. There could be a lot of brainstorming and ideas that form with the Two of Cups, which can be beautiful for both parties involved. On another layer, it could be some type of an alliance or union, some kind of a contractual thing where you actually get into business with someone, you get hired, you get a new job, that kind of thing. And usually when Two of Cups comes out, it's for the best. There's a benefit to that relationship. It's going to work out well for everybody. On the top layer, this can be kind of a more romantic energy because, or maybe it's not romantic, but there's an emotional connection here. Okay. It's not just intellectual. It's definitely not just physical. It's more spiritual and emotional. So it could be a romantic energy coming in or a reestablishing that connection with someone that you're already in a relationship with. There does seem to be some degree of enhancement in those types of relationships. I often see this as like a soulmate, quote unquote, type of card where two people who agree to be together, you commit to be together, you're determined to be together, you're both really on the same page, and you can move forward accordingly. There's not a lot of, like I say, adversarial or opposition that happens here. Usually it's pretty cohesive and complementary. Okay, those two words really come out, complementary especially. So that's great. That's a great way to start the reading anyway. Usually there's a lot of emotional support with these types of relationships. You're not out there on a limb all by yourself. There's usually some degree of equality. So if you put something out there, typically it's going to come back to you. There's not a big risk of you, like I say, putting yourself on a limb and just realizing you're out there all by yourself. That's not likely to happen. There's a give and take. There's a flow and a fluidity between the two of you. And it feels like the two of you can really talk about anything, which in any type of relationship is great. So nothing is off the table for Cancer right now regarding this. But I also see with the Nine of Coins that there is a focus on your own personal development. Now, because this is a coin card, there could be financial development coming through. It could just be you working on yourself, working on your awareness, working on improving yourself. Maybe it's improving yourself in multiple arenas. So maybe it's not just one or the other, but it's an overall improvement. This relationship, this connection, this conversation, again, whichever level it's at, is likely to help you do that. What I like a lot about the Two of Cups is that there's not a threat that you're going to lose yourself. Okay, that you're going to stay quite autonomous and independent. No one is out here trying to take anything from you or trying to, enmesh with you or anything like that. They want you to be you and they want to be them. And we all want to celebrate each other as individuals. Nine of Coins means that there's a lot of pride and a lot of self-respect in what you're doing. And I think there's a likelihood that you're going to be making some really high quality decisions that are in line with your highest good. Again, with the support of the people around you. Especially when there's confusion with the Seven of Cups, because sometimes that Seven of Cups, there are lots of different options in front of you, and you don't necessarily always know which one's best or which one's which. Now, usually I recommend when the Seven of Cups comes out, it's like if you're not really sure, probably best to just pull back or pump the brakes. However, with this determination card, I kind of feel like all of these paths could ultimately get you to where you need to go, because it doesn't really matter which path you take, right? All roads lead to Rome. You just have to be the one that's determined enough and committed enough and say, well, if this is where I want to be, and I've got these, 7 options in front of me, I can make any one of these 7 work. But I know that I have to commit to only one. And that's the thing with Scorpio season in general, is that we do have to be so clear and so concise about what we're doing, because if it gets messy and convoluted, it's going to start to get sloppy, it's going to start to get messy, and we're not really going to accomplish all that much. We cannot be spread too thin. So when we choose a path, even though we may be unsure as to whether or not that's the right path for me, right? It doesn't matter if it's the right path, because what matters is how committed you are to that path. And what matters is how determined you are to make it work. Now, this is not a lazy time. We should not, especially with Saturn stationing direct on the 15th of the month. Okay, we can't sit around and be lazy. We can't sit around and expect the external world to just morph and form around us without us contributing anything. Okay, that's like toxic manifestation stuff, and we're not about that. So we want to show up, and we want to put our time in, and we want to be dedicated and loyal to the things that we know are in line with the future that we see for ourselves. What I like so much about this Two of Cups too is this is probably someone that can help you see that. There can be a nice feedback or a reflective loop going on between you and someone else. And that reflective loop can help you to see things more clearly. Because sometimes when we're just in it all by ourselves, we're like, well, I don't really know if I'm seeing it properly. Am I analyzing this the right way? Should I be thinking of it like this instead? And the Two of Cups can really mitigate that quite a bit. Knight of Coins, Four of Cups, and the Devil. Okay. So the Knight of Cups really speaks to the day-to-day, the mundane, kind of the boring parts of life. It's getting up, showering, doing laundry, going to work, cooking meals, answering emails, phone calls, all that kind of administrative stuff that we have to do in our lives. And maybe, honestly, that's where the determination really comes out. Maybe that's where the discipline needs to be applied. We're starting to get some sixth house activation. Okay, we're not quite to Sagittarius season yet until the end of November. But with Saturn doing his thing, which is all about structure, and we do have Venus in the sixth house, we're going to have Mercury in the sixth house, and eventually the sun will come in there later on in the month. But, you are going to have to make sure that your life is on some degree of a routine. If it isn't already, maybe it is, but you want to keep things kind of going like clockwork. You don't want too much free time to dilly-dally and too much free time to kind of not accomplish, right? We want to make sure that our plan is concrete, to make sure that our plan is sure and secured. The reason for that is because there are going to be things that come in. Because look, when we're in this Nine of Coins place, that's what I call a high gravity place. When you're feeling good, you're doing good, you're making money, you're out there, you're making your business happen, you're, in good relationships, you're in this kind of nice high vibrational state. It's really common to attract stuff because you're attracting, because you're kind of pulling things into you. But not everything should be taken by you. And I do think you're going to have to say no to a lot of people and no to a lot of things. The Four of Cups, it's not so much apathy or apathetic. It's more just knowing what's aligned and what's not. See, because once you choose a path, it doesn't mean that all the other paths really go away. This is like when you start, let's say, writing a book, and then all of a sudden, midway through the book, you get a new idea for a brand new book. It's like, well, we want to just finish the first book. We don't want to branch off and start writing a second book, and then you're going to have two books that are unfinished. So just like stick to the one. I don't even know how tempting these are really going to be. It doesn't feel like it, although the devil sometimes can be very tempting, or it can be associated with temptation a lot of times. But again, I do think with your determination and your self-control, that's where the routine is going to help you so much, because it's like you're not going to have time for all this extraneous things anyway. And if I'm being honest with you, I don't want to say the more busy you can be. Oh, hold on. I think okay, sorry. My camera was like slowing down or something. But I do want you to be busy, and to be as busy as you can productively. I don't want it to be so overwhelming that you are like hating yourself because you're like, oh my gosh, I made myself so busy. But I do think having a lot going on is going to be beneficial. A lot going on that is aligned, of course, aligned with your Seven of Cups path that you do just choose. Because then you are going to avoid temptation, because you're already going to be all booked up. You're going to be like, well, I got to get up early for the morning, or I got this meeting. I'm sorry, I really can't. Or I got to meet up with this person. I can't do this. As interesting as it may be, or as much as it might be kind of stealing my focus a little bit, I just really don't have the capacity for it. So there's ways to manage that. Temptation might be there a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be so much. Honestly, when I look at this Devil card, I do see more discipline than I do anything else. Now, you may be dealing with someone else who has kind of a bigger ego or has some kind of an attitude problem. I don't really think this is coming from Cancer, at least not the Cancers who are sitting here watching this. I'm not saying there couldn't be Cancerians out there who kind of get to that greedy place. I'm not saying that's not possible, but if you're here and you're doing the work, chances are this is going to apply to other people, and you're going to see their, I don't know if I want to call it their darkness, or you're going to see their unhappiness or their own self-loathing or whatever it is. But I do think because of how high you're going and because of how hard you're working and because of how much you're doing, you're going to see people who are either jealous or they just don't like to see other people succeed above them or whatever. You're going to see that. I don't know how much interaction you're going to have with it though. Again, you're too busy for it, but it does seem to be like around. Okay, so of course, choosing your circle wisely is going to be beneficial. See what else comes out. Page of Coins, the Justice card, and the Ace of Cups. Yeah, the Devil does not concern me all that much. We'll see what the clarifiers have to say, but he feels pretty benign. He doesn't seem highly influential. Now, I mean, on one hand, it could represent too the way that you get in your own way. You know, you may have to contend with some of that behavior, your own fears and doubts and whatnot. But again, seems minimal, because when you're so driven by a goal and when you're so driven by certain achievements, those things are more external and they're measurable. And so you're more likely to just go do the things in order to achieve the things so that you can cross the things off the list and kind of get yourself to the next part of life. So it's not like, it doesn't feel like this whole deep shadow work kind of thing. It's just you're living your life, you're doing your stuff. And yeah, you deal with the darker part of yourself and you deal with the darker part of other people, but you're still just going like the Energizer Bunny, okay? And I do see that even here with the Page of Coins. Now, the Page of Coins can be an offering. Maybe that comes through with the Two of Cups too. This also seems kind of small. Usually page offerings is not, even the Ace of Cups too. It's like there seems to be something coming in near the end of November. So as we make our way into Sagittarius season, there's something rolling in. Now by that time, Pluto will officially be out of Capricorn and in Aquarius, which is great. We also have, again, Saturn stationing direct, and we have Mars moving into Leo, which is where he's going to be retrograding. So he's kind of slowing down too. But it does seem like some seeds are getting planted for you near the end of November after Pluto moves into Aquarius. I don't know how fast these are going to grow, but these seeds, these little offers, these people coming in and saying, hey, Cancer, I want to work with you. I want to give you this money. I want to be a part of what you have going on. I want to let you know that these two things, the Ace of Cups and the Page of Coins, is very different from this Four of Cups. This is why you have to be really sure about what you want, because you're gonna have to discern between what fits in what you want and what doesn't fit. These are things that don't fit. These are things that do not get you across the finish line. These are just other options. That's all it is. It's just other options. These are options that progress the goal. So you have to know the difference. And having a clear goal in mind can help you. Having someone to bounce ideas off of can also help you. And I'm getting a sense that, okay, I'm so sorry. I don't know why my camera keeps doing that. I feel like there's like a program running, but there's not. So I have to probably restart my computer. But anyway, I am getting a sense that, you know, you'll recognize these things and you will grasp them and start to nurture them. And throughout the course of December, things are going to start to grow. Now, the Justice card also signifies things coming into balance. It signifies the pendulum swinging in a new direction. So if you've been in a place of hardship or stagnation, or in a place that you kind of don't really like, chances are that pendulum is going to start to swing in your favor. If you've been in a place that you have been happy with, I'm not suggesting that this pendulum is going to swing in the negative direction, more so that it's going to amplify, because again, once you kind of have the momentum going, sometimes that momentum becomes the new normal, okay? So that whatever your normal is, there's going to be an enhancement of that normal. So justice is only responding to what you're putting out there. If you're putting out there distraction, like I'm distracted, I'm unfocused, I'm not sure of what to do, I'm second guessing myself, I'm doubting, I don't believe in myself, then yeah, this pendulum is going to swing in probably an unfavorable direction. But I don't think that's really the case, because again, I don't think you have time to be even thinking that. It's just too determined. You're too determined with everything. So that pendulum is going to start to swing, and you're going to start to notice things coming in that are meant to help you. There does seem to be something emotional going on, which is really great. So I'm not seeing so much in the material realm, although I'm not saying that it couldn't be that. We do have a couple coin cards here. But as far as the entry, I feel like the Ace of Cups is a little bit more prominent than the Page of Coins. It's a little bit louder or brighter, if you will. So there does seem to be something positive for you emotionally, where you'll be really happy with it. You'll be pleased. You'll be satisfied, that type of thing. Which again, it feels connected with the Two of Cups in my mind, that there's some type of a partnership or alliance that you have going on that is going to be beneficial for you, not in a greedy way, not in a self-serving way, but you'll benefit one another, and there will be confirmation, it seems, that you're moving in the right direction and making the right moves for yourself. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and pull out these clarifiers. So we're going to pull out 27 more cards. We're going to pull out 3 cards per card here, talk for another 25 to 30 minutes about all these cards. If you want to join for the comprehensive reading, the link will be in the description box in the comment thread down below. Just look for the comprehensive reading link. So let's go ahead and get started here with the Two of Cups. What is the Cancer needs to know about this Two of Cups? Beautiful. See, there is some kind of offering coming through there. I knew it. Two of Swords and the Empress. Beautiful. Knight of Cups, 7 of Wands, 5 of Wands. I feel like that's kind of connected there with the Devil. Again, those personalities that are just a bit challenging. We have the Hierophant. Another 7 of Cups. So I'm going to pull out 2 more since we got a repeat. Wheel of Fortune, always a positive sign. 5 of Cups. Hanged Man. There's a lot you can't see right now, Cancer. There does seem to be a lot of unknown stuff going on. 4 of Cups. We have the 4 of Coins. Okay. Not super happy about that King of Cups there. 5 of Swords. Page of Wands, 3 of Coins. Okay, I like the contrast there. It's how you apply that Devil energy. We have Strength. 4 of Swords. 10 of Swords. Beautiful. Love the Death card for Scorpio season. 5 of Coins and the Knight of Wands. All right, Cancer. So this is where we're going to pick up in the comprehensive. So again, if you want to join me, you are more than welcome. Thank you all so much. I hope you all have a lovely November, and I'll talk to you soon.